From a man getting stabbed to being baptized by Messi, these are 14 things you didn't know about Lamine Yamal. And first, the time Barcelona's president turned down the biggest transfer offer in football history. To understand how insane this is, you have to understand how broke Barcelona is.
No sé, lo que tengo claro es que yo sí hice todo lo posible. El club, la Porta, dijo que no se pudo por un tema de liga, pero escuché muchísimas cosas que se dijo sobre mí, por qué no seguía o lo que sea, pero te puedo asegurar que de mi parte también hice todo lo posible para quedarme, porque quería quedarme. El año pasado no quería quedarme y también lo dije, y este año sí que quería y no se pudo.
These guys were selling seats from Camp Nou, pawning off TV rights for the next 25 years. And at one point, the players were basically construction workers wearing reflector jackets while their own stadium got rebuilt around them. But amidst this embarrassing crisis, the phone rang. It was PSG. Mbappe had just walked out for free. The Qataris needed a new face of the club, and they offered Barcelona 250 million euros for a 17-year-old Lamine Yamal. That would have shattered the world transfer record and wiped out a giant chunk of Barca's debt. And Joan Laporta, president of the brokest super club in Europe, looked at that offer and said no. While you might think he's the dumbest president in the world, it shows exactly how much Barcelona believes this kid is their future. But while Laporta was making serious decisions about Yamal's career, Yamal himself was making some very unserious decisions about his personal life. While most of us celebrated turning 18 with cheap vodka and a kebab, Yamal rented a private mansion in Olivella, near Barcelona, and threw a fully themed Masia party, like the real Godfather-style party. But that was just the tip of this messy iceberg. The organizers had hired people with dwarfism as entertainment. And the Spanish Association of Dwarves immediately came out swinging. Spain's Ministry of Social Rights called for an investigation into possible exploitation, which became national news for weeks. But it didn't stop there. A model came forward saying recruiters had specified they wanted only blonde girls with a certain breast size at the party, even offering to fly them in. Yamal eventually addressed it and downplayed the drama. But honestly, it's either that Yamal is just freaky, or whoever organized that party needs to be in jail. But while the party made headlines for all the wrong reasons, his relationship made even bigger ones. Most 18-year-olds use their first taste of fame to rebuild their relationship with their mom. Yamal looked at his life, a generational footballer, whirled at his feet Barcelona's number 10, and decided what he really needed was a girlfriend 6 years older than him. Her name is Nicki Nicole. She's an Argentine rapper. She's 25, and Yamal was 18.
Turn a 10-piece to a 20 quick. I got money busting out the money clip.
Like seriously, bro, with everything available to you, you went for grandma? The Spanish tabloids couldn't believe their luck. Pundits started doing the disappointed Unk voice on TV. He's too young. This is a distraction. His football will suffer. But by November 2025, the inevitable happened. Yamal went on Spanish TV, calm as anything, and said, "We are not together anymore. It was not because of any infidelity. We have simply parted ways." But banter aside, bagging, dating, and dumping a hot 25-year-old rapper at just 18 is something most men couldn't do in 3 lifetimes. While Yamal's love life was chaotic, his family life was about to take a much darker turn. Yamal's dad is called Munir Nazraoui. He's Moroccan, and he's been a permanent feature in Spanish headlines for all the wrong reasons. First, old videos surfaced of Munir wearing a Real Madrid jersey and openly admitting he was a Madrid fan before his son became a Barcelona phenomenon. Second, Munir casually told Spanish TV that he planned to live off his son's success.
I would say there are many out there who talk nonsense. They say, oh, why don't you go to work? You live off your son. Let me tell you something, gentlemen. Thank you, son. I will always be grateful to you. I will live off you. I will live off you.
Most parents wait until the autobiography. Munir announced it like a 5-year business plan. But reason 3 is where it stops being funny. In August 2024, Munir was attacked and stabbed in Mataro. Reports suggested it was a revenge attack following an earlier altercation. Yamal was 16 at the time. He was at Barcelona's training ground when he found out, and his teammates and coaches had to physically stop him from leaving to get to the hospital. He said in interviews that it's the most painful memory of his life. Whatever anyone thinks of Munir's questionable interviews and fashion choices, no kid should have to live through that. But even that emotional roller coaster couldn't crack our top 10 because coming up, Yamal celebrated Spain getting knocked out of the 2022 World Cup, and he almost got arrested at Euro 2024. Before we get to those, however, Yamal's idol isn't who you think it is. By every measurable football metric, Yamal is a Messi clone. Left foot, cuts in front of the right wing, La Masia graduate, wears the number 10, curling top corner finishes that look like Messi at 19. The resemblance is so close that Messi himself had to come out and confirm it. So everyone naturally assumes Messi is his idol. But ask Yamal, and he says one name without hesitation: Neymar. The Brazilian who left Barcelona for PSG broke the world transfer record and spent the next decade getting injured every February. But it actually makes sense once you clock it. The fashion, the earrings, the hair, the nightlife, the music videos, that's Neymar to a T. Messi has never worn a single interesting outfit in his entire life. Bless him. So on the pitch, Yamal plays like Messi, and often he lives like Neymar. The man is running a custom blend nobody's ever seen before. But while Yamal chose Neymar as his idol, his loyalty might be with a totally different country. Yamal has Moroccan heritage through his father, but since childhood, he represented Spain. But when Morocco shocked the world at the 2022 World Cup by beating Spain on penalties to become the first African team to reach a quarterfinal, a video surfaced of a 14-year-old Yamal celebrating Morocco's win. Wearing a Morocco shirt, grinning ear to ear. The next day, he reportedly turned up to Spain youth training and politely teased his Spanish teammates about the result. Fast forward 4 years, and the same kid is Spain's most important player. However, that clip resurfaces on Spanish Twitter every couple of months, and people lose their minds all over again. He's not really Spanish. He celebrated against us. Sir, the man was 14. He was a kid celebrating his dad's country beating his other country at a World Cup. What did you want him to do? Write a thesis on national identity? In the end, Yamal chose Spain, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions in Spanish football history. But speaking of Euro 2024, Yamal's performances there actually got him in trouble with the law. Euro 2024 was the tournament that announced Yamal's talents to the whole world. But despite his exploits, he was technically still a child, and that got him in trouble with German law. The German labor law states that anyone under 18 is not allowed to work past 8 p.m. local time. Because Yamal was under 18 and was working by playing football, he wasn't allowed to participate in matches beyond 8 p.m. And with most matches running well past that, Spain was in a bit of a mess. The punishment for breaking this law was a €30,000 fine for each match he played, but considering how good he was, the Spanish FA was more than ready to pay it.
Damn, what is that, bro?
Thankfully, a special injunction for athletes meant he could play until 11 p.m. without the fine. But the fact that an entire federation was willing to risk thousands in fines just to have a 16-year-old on the pitch tells you everything about how special this kid is. But while the Spanish FA was willing to pay fines, Barcelona made sure nobody else could ever afford to buy him. In 2017, Barcelona got burned when PSG came and paid Neymar's €222 million release clause. Since then, they've been tying down every prospect with ridiculous clauses. And they did it for Ansu Fati and Gavi. But the craziest one was when they inserted a €1 billion release clause into Yamal's contract at just 16 years old. $1 billion for a 16-year-old. Now, history has shown that Barcelona's wonder kids don't always live up to the hype. But if anyone can match those insane numbers with performances, it's Lamine Yamal. But the records keep chasing this kid everywhere he turns. At just 18 years old, Yamal bought a mansion that once belonged to Gerard Piqué and Shakira, while other 18-year-old boys are still too shy to talk to girls. The property sits in Esplugues de Llobregat, an elite neighborhood where players like Balde and Araujo already live. And this isn't just one house. It's 3 connected villas forming a private complex with a park, swimming pools, a gym, and a mini football pitch. Inside, you've got panoramic windows, marble floors, a cinema, a sauna, a spa, and even the recording studio Shakira used to make her music. But Yamal isn't keeping it as a celebrity playground, he's transforming the whole thing into a professional athlete's compound with a private gym, recovery room, massage zone, and upgraded security. Valued at $16 million, the house costs more than the stadium in my hometown. And there's something poetic about it too, because Piqué was the icon of the old Barcelona. Yamal is the face of the new one. The house that raised one era is now home to the next. And with that, we've made it to our top 5. And this is where Yamal stops being impressive and starts being genuinely unbelievable. We're talking about a baby photo with Messi and a signature boot deal that put him alongside the greatest players in history. But first, let's start with a move so filthy, it's basically become his autograph. From Messi's body feints to Ronaldo's famous chop, every superstar has their signature move. With almost every skill already taken, modern footballers usually just adopt someone else's and make it their own. The Trivela was popularized by Quaresma and Modric.
And Quaresma goes again. Brilliant from Ricardo Quaresma on his return for Portugal. Simply sensational, and it might be enough to take them through.
But with those two past their primes, Yamal has made it his own. This kid is 18 and already has a move the whole world associates with his name. Seeing this kind of greatness from a teenager, Adidas responded by doing something that had never been done for someone this young. Having signature boots has always been a privilege reserved for the top 1% of footballers. Ronaldo, Neymar, Messi, the absolute elite. But never has it been done for someone as young as Yamal. To celebrate his incredible 2024, Adidas teamed up with Yamal to create the limited edition F50 LY304. Yamal picked pink as the main color, and the usual F50 logo on the outside of the foot was replaced with 304 in gold, the last 3 digits of his hometown postcode, paying tribute to the community that watched a promising kid transform into a generational talent. To launch it, they dressed him in a pink graduation gown because the kid had just passed the most remarkable year in football with flying colors. But while Adidas gave him his own boots, the biggest award bodies in the world started giving him their trophies. The Copa Trophy goes to the best player in the world under 21. Mbappe won it, Pedri won it, Bellingham won it, but none of them did it twice. Yamal won it in 2024 and won it again in 2025.
Lamine Yamal.
Üst üste 2 kez bu ödülü kazanan ilk oyuncu oldu Lamine Yamal.
Becoming the first and only player to ever do it back-to-back. And because he's still under 21, he could win it again in 2026. Because honestly, which other under 21 player is even close? But the Copa wasn't the biggest story. In the 2025 Ballon d'Or race, after those insane performances against Inter where he basically carried Barcelona on his back, the conversation wasn't if Yamal would land on the podium, but whether he'd lift the trophy itself. He finished second to Dembele, who deserved it after PSG's treble. But finishing second at 18 isn't losing. It's announcing that you will win it. Probably multiple times. Probably this year. But while the football world was handing him awards, the wider sports world decided he deserved their recognition too. You might not know much about the Laureus Awards, but they're nicknamed the Oscars of Sport and voted on by 70 legendary athletes from every sport on Earth. In 2025, Yamal won the Laureus Breakthrough of the Year. Cool, plenty of footballers have done that. But in April 2026, Laureus invented a brand new category, Young Sportsperson of the Year, the first ever award of its kind across every sport on the planet. And guess who they handed it to?
Please welcome the winner of this year's Laureus Young Sportsperson of the Year, Lamine Yamal.
Making him the youngest athlete in history to win 2 Laureus Awards and the first footballer to hold a trophy that was literally created because of him. But while every awards body in the world was chasing Yamal, the most magical moment of his life happened 18 years before any of them knew his name. In 2007, UNICEF held a raffle in Mataró, Catalonia. The prize was a chance to take a picture with a Barcelona player. The Yamal family entered and won. So when they went to Camp Nou, UNICEF decided to make the photo shoot more interesting. Lionel Messi, who was 20 and already making a name for himself, was invited into a room with a plastic tub full of water and a baby in it. Messi was shocked, didn't know what to do, but eventually posed for pictures with the baby and his mother. 17 years later, that baby turned out to be Lamine Yamal, the teenage sensation who idolizes Messi, plays like Messi, wears Messi's number, and is already being compared to the legend himself. Can you imagine a random raffle in a small Spanish town connecting the greatest player of all time with the kid who might one day take his crown? Some people call it a coincidence. I call it destiny. But while Yamal's story feels like destiny, some moments in football happen with zero warning and change everything in a single second. I'm talking about a Stoke City flop sending Real Madrid to a Champions League final, and a goalkeeper heading home in the 94th minute while wearing the number 94 shirt. Click on the next video to see the 25 most emotional last-minute moments in football history.